What's happening, everybody? Steve here, and today I'm going to take you on a VR 360 look at the interior of the 2023 Kia Sportage while we're test driving. So it's going to be kind of interesting. You're going to learn a lot of things here. Now, if you're new to the VR 360 world, it's really straightforward to use. If you're on your desktop, go full screen, highest quality. You can take your mouse in order to click and look around as we go. You also have the flexibility of pausing and 360 looking around as well, which is kind of neat. If you're on your cell phone, you can take your finger and you can swipe around using your finger instead. And if you're using the YouTube app, you can even rotate your phone left, right, up, and down. It is pretty neat how the process works. But let's dive into it and have a little bit of fun. Now, a few things to point out. This specific one is the X-Line Limited, which is the highest available trim level of the vehicle in Canada. But I mean, look at this. Like, the screen is so amazing. The cluster screen is fully digital and looks phenomenal. We do have a media screen here that does have factory navigation, but it does also support both Google Maps, Apple Maps, well, sorry, I should say both Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So it's got Google Maps, Apple Maps, or Waze support, just depending on which system you're using. It's phenomenal. And like, the base highlights inside of this thing are incredible. We've got some really great modes, so different drive modes and terrain modes inside of this thing. It's really nice, but let's have a little bit of fun. Now, a few things to point out. So the 2023 Sportage, it got its facelift overseas in 2021, and then it was brought to the North American market as of 2023. Well, I guess 2022, but it's for the 23 model. But it's really nice. Now this thing, there it is. This thing is powered by a 2.5 liter engine, so it's a non-turbocharged engine, and it's respectable. Like, it's a decent amount of power for it. For the size, it's perfect. But it's very, very similar to a lot of other vehicles in the class as well, like in this specific class. So, I mean, it's nice. Now, this thing is loaded with technology. Like, it's got an optional blind spot monitoring system, which is great because we push either our left or our right turn signal. I love it. And it's got a highlight inside of our cluster screen, letting us know what's going on beside us. So yeah, we could use just the side view mirrors or the blind spot monitoring system there, or we can actually take a look and have our blind spot camera showing us what's next to us as well. It's amazing. But that system, it's not available in the entire Sportage lineup. It's just going to be available in the highest available trim level in Canada anyways, which is nice. But this is really good. The seat is super comfortable. It's a leather seat because of the trim level of the vehicle that we're in. So it's going to be either cloth or leather seats, but these things are nice. Oh, it's really nice. And one of the cool things, because this is the highest trim, it also means, well, even in some of the lower ones, you would have power seats that are available there as well. So power forwards, backwards, up and down. There's a ton of space inside of this thing, which is fantastic. And one of the cool things, this thing's got a sunroof, so we can vent it out if we want to. Just opens things up nicely and just gives us that added feel of just openness inside of this, which is fantastic. Oh, that's really nice. But we can vent out, we can open it up. It opens up about halfway from what we see overhead there. So it's not going to open up the full way, but it does give us at least a nice amount of space up overhead there, which is always a nice thing. Oh, but this is nice. And one of the cool things, I've got the smart cruise control system going right now as well. I will explain how that system works because it's really straightforward and it's a really, really simple system to use all at the same time. So what we're going to do, on the right-hand side of the steering wheel, we've got a series of different pads that are available. So we're going to push the button on the top right-hand side of that right pad. Oh, of course, I'm not driving, so I can't actually turn it on and use it right now. Okay, so let's do this. We're going to start driving, and as we're driving, we push that top right button, and that's going to turn the smart cruise control system on. Once we're up to our ideal speed, we're going to press either the up or down button on the right-hand side of the steering wheel as well. So we push that, and that's going to essentially lock in our speed. So as of right now, we're on a 50 road, so I've got us set at 50 kilometers an hour, and it's following nicely. Now we've got a button just below that, and that's going to be our distance indicator. So how close or far do we want to be away from the vehicle that's in front of us? So we've got a few different options that we can select in between there, and that's going to be your own personal comfort level. But the way that I want you to think about that like old school 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi rule. So for each extra distance that we go, it's essentially going to be an extra roughly second or so away from the vehicle that's in front of us. So you've got quite a few different options that are available there. If you ever hit the brake as you're driving, it's essentially going to deactivate that system. So it's going to activate, round boots. Okay, I'll get you that one in just a second. All right, so when we press the brake, it's going to essentially turn that system off, and then we can resume it just by pushing that button in again in the middle. So the one that we would use in order to set that initial speed, we can push it again in order to resume our set speed there as well. Oh, this is nice. Nice and comfortable. The system it's so straightforward to use. We also do have our lane follow assist as well, and what that's going to do is it's essentially going to keep us fully balanced in our lane. So a few caveats: you have to be going a certain speed, and it has to actually be able to recognize the lane markings. So if it doesn't recognize them left, right, side, it's just not, it's just not gonna work. All right, and we're up to 60 here, so let's bump this thing back up and go to 60, perfect. And same idea. So hands are off the wheel, and we've got our distance indicator set. There's a car in front of us right now as well. So I've got it set to mid-distance, well, truck I should say. So it's gonna slow us down. I've got it set at 60, but the car is now going 53, and that's because the truck in front of me is just taking its time speeding up again. But one of the amazing things, my foot's off the accelerator, and it's keeping me balanced, and it's picking me right back up to my set speed again. So it is a very, very smart system there. We can adjust how close or far we are away by pushing that button on the bottom right-hand side of the screen as well. So it's really straightforward. So simple to use. Our lane keeping system's activated, our lane follow system, so it's literally gonna keep us perfectly balanced in the lane as we go here. It is really, really cool the way that this system works. So nice. But this thing, like, I still can't believe with Kia vehicles how loaded these things are with technology at the price point that they're available. Like, it's ridiculous. I love it. The blind spot monitoring, it gets me every time. I see that blind spot pop up in our turn, like right in our cluster screen. I'm like, yes, Kia, such a good job. It's such a good feature. I love it. But it is nice that we've got that as an available option. But so many different things. Like, we've got a voice command prompt where we can change songs, radio stations. We can navigate using our voice. Oh, that's neat. Oh, cool. It was kind of like warning us and seeing what's going around us. And because we've got a full 360 camera, it's also giving us a full 360 view here as well. I love this. Like, this view is so dang cool. Kia! It's so nice. I love the way that this thing looks. You guys have done a phenomenal job on the design of this. So I've only seen this, I guess, in two other cars now. The Jeep Grand Cherokee, which is new for 2022, or it also is in the Land Rover, like Land Rover Defender, Land Rover, things like that. So it is crazy that it's available inside of this thing as well. But it's respectable. For a 2.5 liter engine, that was nice. Now, you may have also heard, so it was revving up a little bit higher, and the reason why is because I've got this thing locked into sport mode. So we've got a series of different modes. We've got a toggle shifter right underneath our shifter. We can change between a normal, sport, or an eco mode instead. We can switch between a series of different terrain modes on top of that. So a lot of options available. The panoramic sunroof is not going to be standard in the vehicle, but it is available there optionally, which is nice. And let's prep for this upcoming drop to 60. Using the Smart Cruise system as well, and here it is. So I've got it set at 60. Okay, it's taking a second to actually like slow us down there as well, but I've got it set at 60, and here we go. So I've got the lane follow assist system going right now as well. It's really nice. And one of the cool things is that, like, we can rely on all of this technology, but if you're more of like a hands-on driver, the Sportage does have paddle shifters. So we've got our minus on the left and our plus on the right-hand side, so we can adjust gears out that way if we want to. But even on the shifter. So once we're in our drive mode, we can also adjust what gear we're in that way. All we have to do is shift out to the left or the right, or to the left side, and it's gonna put us into our manual mode, where we can increase or decrease the gears very simply if we want to. So we're in 5th gear as of right now. We just do a drop into 4th. So really useful if you wanna get that little like oomph, that little bit of extra like push as you go in order to get in front of somebody, if it's necessary. But there's so many good options, like so many good technology options available inside of this thing. It's so good, so good. Interior seats are comfortable. One of the great things is that we've got heated seats there, but inside of some of the higher trims, we've got ventilated seats as an option as well. So heated and cooled front seats, I love it. heated steering wheel is an available option. And one of the cool things about the Sportage is just the way that we've got a little screen under our media screen. And it's essentially going to give us like a hot button press to change between either our climate settings or our audio and radio settings. It is really cool the way that Kia's set this thing up. And it's like a simple button press that's gonna let us change between each different setting there as well. So the rockers there are either gonna be for our climate or they're gonna be for adjusting volume and tuning and things like that. It is so cool. Kia. Listen to this. It's so good. And like that's halfway volume right now. Sounds amazing. And that's thanks to the upgraded Harmon Kardon sound system that's going to be available inside of the Sportage lineup. But it's phenomenal. And like honestly, if you're looking for a feature-loaded vehicle that's going to be able to get you to A to B at a really competitive price point, like the new Sportage should probably be on your radar. Like they did a really good job on the redesign of it. Kia's got a fantastic warranty. We've got a ton of space in the trunk of this thing as well. And even the second row spacing, like you could fit 3 full-size versions of me in the second row. And like I'm 6 feet tall, like fairly broad shoulders as well at the same time. So, I mean, it is really nice to know that we've got that space if we need it, like 5-seat availability and a boatload of space in the trunk of the vehicle as well. Or as they call it in England, the boot. Oh, the differences. So good though. This is nice. This is really nice. I love it. Like whenever I look at that digital cluster screen, I'm like, oh, it just looks so good. Oh. And like all of the small things, like we're push button start. We've got like a nice glossy highlight down the center of the stack there as well. I mentioned heated ventilated first row seats, the option for heated second row seats on the outboard. So the middle seat inside of this thing in the second row will never be heated, unfortunately, but still nice. And like even the options for the media screen in this thing. Like we've got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay support, Google Maps, Apple Maps Waze. We've got factory navigation with that thing that looks amazing all at the same time. Oh, it's really nice. It's really nice. I think Kia did a really good job on this thing. We do have the option for either front wheel drive as well. So it's either front wheel drive in the lower trims or all wheel drive in the higher trim levels of the vehicle. And we've got the option, I mentioned it earlier, with different terrain modes. So we can select what mode we're in as we go. But that's nice. And like we've got the flexibility of turning a lot of the systems off. So this thing has a forward sensing system, reverse sensing system, a lot of other great features which we can adjust on the fly as well. So we can turn off these safety settings if we really don't want them. This is really nice. I'm just gonna go a little bit of fun. For a Kia that's a 2.5 liter engine with a vehicle this size, it's got decent acceleration. Now I am in the sport mode, and if you've seen any of my other videos, you hear I talk about it all the time. Like I love me my sport mode. It's an amazing system. I'm gonna go forward a little bit. I'm gonna pull into a random driveway. I'm gonna be that guy today. Honey, I'm home. Who are you? Who are you? All right, here we go. This will be good. Oh, that blind spot monitoring system though, it is so nice. All right, there's a car coming the opposite way now, so I'm just gonna give it a second. Well, actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna purposely throw it into reverse right now, and we should, yeah, this is gonna be good. Okay, so that is one of the added safety systems that's available inside of this thing as well. So it lets us know when there's somebody coming perpendicular from us as we back up. It can help us, it can literally slam on the brakes as well. We can have it for a warning, we can have nothing come on all at the same time. So it's gonna be a matter of preference what happens there, but it is nice that we've got that available as an option. So nice, so nice. There is, moving up overhead, so auto dimming rear view mirror. We've got a garage door opener code that we can program into this thing as well. I still can't get over the seat comfortability though. Like it's got a good amount of cushion. Oh, it's nice. It's really nice. I'm gonna do like donuts in the gravel pit there, but it's a new car, so it's probably not a good idea. This is really good though. So nice. And like all of the small highlights inside of this thing are great. Like I said, the comfort inside of this is good. One of the nice things is that even if you're in the base version of the vehicle, you'll have the same 2.5 liter engine as we pull past a Bentley. So nice, so nice. But Durham Kia, really, really nice for them to lend me the vehicle for the day in order to be able to shoot the video for you guys. Check down in the description below for their contact details as well. But before I pull this thing up on the curb, I'm gonna kind of sign off here. But that was a look at the 2022 Kia Sportage, 2023 Kia Sportage. What did you think? Features and styling wise, this thing is fantastic with all of the available and standard technology inside of it. But if you have any questions, drop down in the comment section below and let me know. More than willing to talk you through any issues that you might be having. If you're looking for a fuller walk through the media screen or the cluster, the steering wheel buttons, things like that, check down in the description below for that walkthrough instead. But if you enjoyed this one, give it a thumbs up, share it with your social networks, and until I see you next time, take care.